Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crafty Chemist. Coming at you live to make these fun fold cards. They stand up, great for display. So looking forward to this. If you're on, say hi. So that I know you're here. What's everybody doing? It's kind of cold and chilly here in Gurnee. It was like 54 degrees out and rainy. So, hi. Does anybody do something fun today? I did something fun this weekend. Went to the Mall of America. Hey, Vicky. Does anybody? I literally walked in the door like maybe 5 minutes ago and spent a couple minutes with Darcy jumping over me and then set up my live. So we had almost no time to spare. But we stopped in the Wisconsin Dells to go to this mac and cheese place. And it was really good. It really was good. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom, can you come in and get my stamp pad or my thing wet? Yeah, can you get that wet? Just run underwater. Okay, yeah, I didn't have time to get my stamp chamois all wet. But anyway, so today I am making these. I didn't know what to call them. I call them a lounge chair card because to me, they look kind of like, you know, those lounge chairs you sit on, like at the beach, like an Adirondack chair or whatever. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Is this wet or not? Yeah, thanks. So that's what I'm calling them. Has anybody been crafting this weekend? Get anything good made? Good driving weather. It was good driving weather until, I'd say almost around Milwaukee, we got a little bit of, it started to rain a little bit, but not super hard, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good weather. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, we're making these lounge chair cards. They're really a nice, fun fold card. And I saw Gina K make these on one of her lives several months ago. And I thought, I'm going to try that, especially with this stamp set. I've been wanting to use this stamp set that's in the core catalog for a long time. And I'm like, I'm going to use that stamp set to make these cards. So I'll tell you all about it here in a minute. You took lots of photos for future scrapping? Yeah, that's true. Don't we all have phones full of photos we need to scrapbook? Oh, jeez. I hate to think about it, but okay, let's get started. In case you're new, I am Maggie Workman, the Crafty Chemist. If you like any of these products, you can go to thecraftychemist.closetomyheart.com and find all of the materials there. I'm going live from my Facebook page, Crafty Chemist Designs. I do have a Facebook group called The Crafty Chemist Presents CTMH that I invite you to join, where you can share your artwork. If you make one of these cards today, I invite you to please share it on the group so we can see your take on it, because I can't wait to see all the amazingness that you do. I do have an Instagram and TikTok at Crafty Chemist Designs, where I try and post every day. I do post on Instagram every day, but I create a reel maybe 5 times a week, and a TikTok maybe 5 times a week, not every day. And I have a blog at periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com. And the latest blog that I'm working on is about the collection of the month, which is Hello Darlin'. So that will get posted pretty soon. I just haven't had a chance to kind of finish it up yet. Okay. And like I said, we're making these cards. And I am going to use the Floral Bloom Stamp Set for mine to make this one. Because you want something that is going to cover, the front of your card. And you can see I even have it sort of on the inside. So it looks nice, on both sides. But it doesn't have to be flowers. This is just, what I chose to do. Just something that's going to, make a good card. I did try to make I made a masculine one because I know Father's Day is coming up. So if you're looking for a masculine one, you could use this is called the Hey Handsome collection from Close to My Heart. This paper, I really love the paper. And this one I totally made with a sticker sheet and some acrylic shape. So there is no stamping involved in this one, which I wanted to show you also that you don't have to have stamps. You could just do it with the sticker sheets, and it looks just as cute. But I really love this collection. Okay, so I'm going to be using this one. You can get this stamp set with the thin cuts. I didn't get it with the thin cuts, but you can get this with the thin cuts to cut out the flowers. Okay, and this is in the catalog, the core catalog. It's on this page here. So it's page 30 of the core catalog. Again, it's called Floral Blooms. You can get it with or without thin cuts. There's also this border stamp set that's very similar, similar look and feel, but they're borders. And so you can see some of the cards that they've made with it. I really like these. But you can also use it for scrapbooking, which is why I really love this set. As soon as I saw this catalog during the core catalog reveal to makers, I was like, I need to make this scrapbook layout because I love it. It is so gorgeous. And it's beautiful, but it was really not that difficult. I made it on Friday. I don't know if I'm high enough. Let me put my camera up a little bit just for this so you could see the whole layout. Oh yeah, there you go. You can see the whole layout. Look how beautiful that is using this. The only thing about this is I used, different colors. I used nectarine, canary, papaya, and mulberry, and then avocado. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. This is probably one of my favorite layouts that I've ever made with this. So, okay, so this one's called Floral Blooms, and I made it with this card. And then this collection was Hey Handsome. Let me see if I can find a link to it. Okay, there you go. I put a direct link to the one without the stamp set, or without the thin cuts. Okay, so let's get started. One thing, if you don't have this stamp set, I had another kind of suggestion. If you have this one is an older stamp set. It is called Floral Celebration. It was a stamp of the month in August of 2020. And the reason why I thought this one might be a good one is because it does have a solid flower, and there's another solid flower here. And then there is some flowers that are the outlines. It's nice, and then it's got some leaves too that you can use. So this one is kind of maybe a good substitute. It's even got this little, these are solid leaves, like vines here. And I think the combination of the solid and the, like this one, is this like a chrysanthemum? Maybe a chrysanthemum. I love the combination of the solid floral and the lined florals. And there's even like aligned leaves, and then there's some solid leaves here. That's what I think makes the page, is that combination. So if you have one that has both of those, that would be great. Otherwise, you could just use, like here I did just kind of use mostly the solid ones. I did use here the lines. Here's kind of one that it's kind of both lined and solid, but okay. But again, you don't have to use flowers. You can use anything. Like this one I used the Hey Handsome stickers. So okay, so let's start creating this. This one is actually created in a little bit interesting way. So the first thing that we need to cut is this sage piece. So I'm using sage, okay, and this sage piece is 11 inches by 4 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to use the sage again, but whatever you want to be the base as your card, the card base, this piece here, whatever color you want to use, cut it 4 1/4 by 11. And that reminds me that the good thing about this card is that it will fit in a regular A2 size envelope. So it's just the same as your regular cards that we typically create. So that's a great thing about this. Okay, so let's do this one. I've got my sage. Yeah, Cricut cuts would work too. So if you don't have stamps and you don't have stickers, you can cut any kind of, there's a lot of Cricut flowers, right, that you could cut out. Perfect idea. Okay, so I'm going to cut this 4 1/4 and then 11 inches long. Okay, so here's my base piece. And with this base piece, you just want to fold it in half. Okay, now our paper is two-sided, right? You've got the darker side and the lighter side. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. I want the darker side to be out, right, to be viewing. So I'm going to fold with the darker side out. So I'm just folding it in half. Let me get my little bone folder here. Okay, so I'm folding this in half. Okay, now the next piece you need is the white piece, okay? And this white daisy is 4 inches by 10 1/4. 4 by 10 1/4. So let me show you in case you're on mute. 4 inches. And then this one is, it should be, yeah, 10 1/4. Let me get it up here. Yeah, 10 1/4. So cut a piece of white daisy or whatever color you want this piece to be. Okay? I mean, you could do this one, you know, a lighter color or some other color you want, but I did it white daisy. So 4 by 10 1/4. Okay. So 4 inches here by 10 1/4. Okay. Okay, now this one, I am going to fold in half. Got a little something there. Okay, fold it in half. And then we're going to fold one side of it in half again. So let's look at how this is, so I have it, if you think about how it's on this paper, it's folded up. The fold is at the bottom. Okay? So I folded it in half. And I did that so that I had it even. Okay, you could score it if you want, but you'll see when I scored mine, you can see it wasn't 100% even. I don't know, my scoring thing seems to be off. So if you fold it in half this way, and then fold this piece down, this gives you kind of the lounge chair look to it. Okay, and then smooth it out. Okay, so see how it's folded like this? There you go. So again, just to reiterate that, fold it in half with the fold at the bottom, and then take the top piece and fold it down again to kind of make a lounge chair. Hi, Diana. So if you missed any of the measurements, this piece was 4 1/4 by 11. It's the base of the card, 4 1/4 by 11. And then the white daisy was 4 inches by 10 1/4. And I folded it in half, and then I took the top piece and folded it down again. Okay? And now here's what's the interesting part is we're going to tape this or glue this or however you're going to adhere it onto the front of this card. Okay? So I'm going to take my tape gun here, and you're just adhering this top square. Okay? So you can say, just put it on that piece, not down here. These two pieces have no adhesive on it. And then I'm going to center it on the card. That card base there. Okay, and so now we've got a good thing started. I know this doesn't matter because it's going to be covered, but okay. Okay, I put the dimensions in the chat there. And then okay, then the white daisy was 4 inches by 10 1/4. Okay, now I have a couple layers here. So I have a sapphire. Can you see the sapphire? Okay, that sapphire piece is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay, I typed it in there because they're kind of odd numbers. Not odd as in even and odd, but odd as in not usual. Okay, so let me show you where that is on here. So 3 5/8. So this is how I think about it. 4/8 is a half, right? 4 out of 8, 4/8, that's a half. So I do 3 1/2, and then I know that 5/8 is one more than 4/8, so I know I'm taking it to the next kind of medium tick mark. So that's 3 5/8. So it's the medium tick mark between the half and the 3/4. Okay, the medium one. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. 3 5/8, and then 4 7/8. So 4 7/8. Well, as you know, 8/8 would be a full inch, so 7/8 is just the medium tick mark before the 5. Okay. And I'm going to cut there. So this is the mat for the top part. And so again, the 7/8 is, let me go here, is this medium one here between the 3/4 and the 5. Okay, that's the 7/8. I know people don't like to do 8s. And I will tell you, it is, I think it's kind of a little bit odd sizes because since I watched Gina K make this, I think she used her, what are her master layouts? She used one of her master layouts. So if you happen to have that master layout that is this size, you can just cut it out with that. But these are the measurements if you don't have that master layouts. Okay, so that's for this main piece. And then you need 2 other sapphire pieces that are for these down here. And it's the same widths, 3 5/8, but the height is only 2 1/8. So let me type that in there. Okay, so you need to make 2 of these. Okay, so this one should be 3 5/8 because it's left over from the piece I cut before. Okay, 3 5/8, and now let's cut it to 2 1/8. So the 1/8 is the line that, the medium line that's right before the quarter. Okay. So here's 2 1/4, so it's this medium line right before that. Okay, so here's one. And now we need to so let's do 2 1/4. I wanted to make sure that it was at least 3 5/8. So 2 I said a quarter, 2 1/8, 2 1/8, and 3 5/8. Again, that's 1 medium tick mark past the half mark. Oh, so now I've got my 2 pieces of that. That's enough for your math lesson. Yeah, and that's why that's why these are odd numbers. So if you, I mean, you could make this 3 1/2 if you wanted to, and 4 3/4 or something like that. If you wanted it to be a more standard size, there's a lot of leeway. You know what I mean? You've got some room to play, but that's that's the size that she had used, so that's just what I decided to use. And again, I think it's because of her master layouts, but I don't remember which master layout that was. I think it's one of the main ones though, like the first one. It might be master layout 1. Okay, now I'm just going to attach this to the base here, to the white part, white daisy. And when you put this on, you want to make sure that you pay attention to where the fold mark is here. Okay? Because you're going to fold it. So you don't want to put it too low. Okay? Now we're going to put these on these two pieces. So what you want to do is you want to kind of stretch the white daisy all the way out and put the mats on here, okay? You don't want to accidentally put it like on the wrong side, right? So pull it straight down and then attach it to the top part of the white daisy. Okay. And now this one again, pay attention to where the seams are. Okay, and then you also want to make sure you're lining it up with the pieces above. You could, use something like a T-square or something if you really are concerned, but, okay, I'm just going to eyeball it. There we go. Okay, and then let's do this one. What I like about these cards is you'll see they're really super easy to make, because we're probably going to finish, not probably early, I don't know, let's say that, but, oh shoot, I did that on the wrong side. Okay, good lesson, because I'm talking and not paying attention. I put the tape on the dark side, right, and if I would put this on now, you could see how that's a different color. So I'm going to have to cut this again. Because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, 2 1/8. And 3 5/8. There we go. Now let's see if I can pay attention to what I'm doing. I just drove, I don't know how many miles. We left about at 8:30 this morning. Oh, there we go. Now I did it right. And again, when you put this down, you want to try and line it up. And this one matters a little bit more than the one before, because this one, kind of a little bit gets hidden from the fold, right? So it's not quite as important, but okay. Now the next part is the background. You want to have a background that I would say is not neutral, but is not very busy, okay? Like I wouldn't use a big floral pattern. This paper came from this pack of, it is the Flower Shop. This again is from the core catalog. Let me see. I'm going to check to see if it's still available. Okay, here. This is Flower Shop. I love this collection. It has some of the most beautiful papers. Okay, so I'm using this one. It's called Flower Shop. You can see I used this one here, this green, a plaid. You could use this one, I think, or even the stripes if you wanted to, but I wouldn't use something like this big floral. Okay. Okay, it is still available, so yay. Oh, over 400 miles. I did take a picture of my speedometer before I left, and I'll go check it to now, but I literally didn't have time to. My stuff is even still in my car because I didn't have time to look at it. Okay, here's the flower shop, and this is why I really love this paper. I love this paper, but I would not use it as a background if I was going to stamp, you know, put these flowers on it, because you wouldn't see the beautiful flowers that you stamped. If you don't have a stamp, or if you don't have stamps or stickers or something, you could use a beautiful background paper like this to just be the decoration, right? You could just use that for the decoration, maybe put a couple like gems or sparkles or something. You could do that. But if you're planning on stamping things, I wouldn't use something busy like this. This one, even this one, I think would be a little bit too much. It's kind of the background chrysanthemums. This one you could potentially use because it's fairly neutral, right? It wouldn't really take away from your design. So, but I'm not going to use it because I have sapphire mats, so that would be too much sapphire. This one, I don't know, I think this one's a little bit busy, but you could use it. The striped, here's a stripe one. I think you could use it. I wouldn't on this one because I picked sapphire, but I did use the stripes on this one, and I think it looks perfectly fine. So you could use this one. This one, the stripes, the diagonal stripes, you probably could use it. It is a little bit busy. Let's see. This one, it's got daisies. You could use it. It wouldn't be my first choice, but I love the paper. Just, you know, if I'm going to be doing these flowers, maybe not. This one, yeah, this one's too busy. Unless, like I said, if you want to make this one if you wanted a paper to be your like total decoration, this one would be a good option. Or even this one. This one would have been really pretty, like for Mother's Day card, if you made this design. Really pretty. I love this paper. It kind of has wildflowers on it. Let's see. Well, goodness, I hope I have some of that green plaid here. Oh, I do. Yeah, okay, yeah. Here we go. So here's this paper. This yellow would be nice too. Okay, but let's cut this. Now, you need to think about cutting this depending on what paper you have. If you're using something with an all-over design like this, like it doesn't matter which direction, you don't have to pay as much attention. If you're using something like the stripes, I recommend you cut it all from one strip on the paper, because if you cut it from, like, say scraps or whatever, your lines are not going to match up. So you see how these lines totally match up from the top through these two pieces, right? So if you want it to be continuous, you need to cut it out of one strip. So I would cut these, this plaid is 3.5 inches wide. So I would cut a 3.5 inch strip and then cut the 3 pieces from that, okay? So this is not one that you want to try and use your scraps unless it's something like this, an all over plaid, okay? Because I might try and use this to do my smaller pieces. We'll see. But if you're using something with an all-over design, I recommend you cut it from one piece so that it looks like it's a continuous piece, okay? So these ones are, it's 3.5 by 4 3/4. So this plaid is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Oh, gingham is probably a better word. I'm going to use gingham. Okay, gingham, 3.5 by 4 3/4. So let's cut that. My cutter got buried. So I'm going to cut this strip that's 3.5. And then cut a 4 3/4. Okay, so if you were using something like a stripe, obviously the stripes are going to be going down the length of the card. Or, I mean, you could make it going the other way if you wanted, but when I did this one, obviously the 4 3/4 was going this way and the 3.5 was going across this way. So make sure you orient your paper in the right way. Okay, so that's the first plaid piece. And then the other ones are 3.5 by 2. So it's already 3.5, so let's just cut 2 pieces that are 2 inches. Okay. And I used this one to kind of tie in. Actually, I think this green is avocado. So I probably should have used an avocado for the base to match exactly, but I think this looks okay. I'm not sure why I used sage. I wasn't going to use that plaid, I think, at first. That's why. But if you look really close, you'd be like, oh, that's avocado. That's not sage. And then I'm going to center this here. Put it this way. And this leaves like a really small edging around it, okay? Again, you could play around with the measurements if you want to. Like that sapphire could have been wider because there's room on the white daisy. And you would have had a little bit more of a border. But, you know, Gina K likes her very thin borders, especially black borders. Okay, so when you put this down, you kind of want to make sure that it lines up. So do you see how my plaid lines kind of line up? Okay, and again with the stripes, when you place it down, you want to make sure, like I put this strip here so that this paprika stripe matched up with this paprika stripe, okay? I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't, but if you want a, you know, a more professional looking job, those are the kind of details you need to pay attention to. If you want to use up your scraps, then you don't have to worry about that. Like if that's your goal, then do that. There we go. The plaid is not quite as important because you don't really see that. With the stripes, I'll tell you, I almost put this one on, you know, the other way, and it would have been kind of obvious because there's no orange stripe on the side, right? And the orange stripe would have been on the side, but okay. Now you're basically done with that. You're done with the base. So now we're just going to get to the decorating. Does anyone have a question about those or need a remake of the sizes? Okay, I don't see anybody. Now we're going to do the stamping, and I'm going to flip over my Versamat so I can do some of the stamping, because this is like a spongy surface that's great to stamp on. If you don't have that, you can stamp on the foam sheet that comes with our paper, or with our stamp sets. Okay. Okay, now first I'm going to put the sentiment. This stamp set does not come with a sentiment. So you can put any sentiment that you want. I wanted something that was kind of universal, like so I can use it for a thank you or to send encouragement or, you know, whatever. I wanted something kind of universal. And you want your sentiment to fit in this top spot. Okay, and I knew that I wanted to stamp on something like this shape, you know, because I couldn't stamp directly on my paper. I mean, I could have, but the paper is patterned, so I knew I wanted to have a shape, you know, a die cut to cut out the stamp on. And I like this one. This one fit nicely. I'm not going to use it, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how it fits like perfectly in that space, right? This way. It fits perfectly in that space. And so I was like, okay, I know I want to use this die cut. This is stitch scallop brackets. This is a retired product, but we do have some other thin cuts that cut out shapes that you can use. Or you can just cut a square, right? Out of white paper or whatever you're going to use. So I used, this is from the Daisy Daisy stamp set, the You're Amazing. Life is Beautiful was nice, but it was a little bit too big for that. This one says Celebrating You. I probably could have used that, Celebrating You. I don't know if I have one stamped here. Oh, yeah. This is not stamped very well, but, right, I could have put something like that. So that would have been a good size for this. That would have been kind of cute there. Gosh, I didn't realize I had so many pieces cut out. Or I would have just used these. Look how many I have. I got so many. So yeah, these would have been cute. But it's not what I used. But if you have this one. Actually, you know what? I used this on one of my first lives that I did when I made remember I made that sort of trifold card that was angled. That was my first live, and I think my first live, and I used this stamp set. Well, and that makes sense because this is August 2020, and I joined in like July of 2020, so that's a good stamp set. But I used the You're Amazing from this one, Daisy Daisy. And this is no longer available, I don't think. Yeah, this was a special. The Daisy Daisy was a special that was really hard to get. So find whatever sentiment you want. I did stamp this. I wasn't sure how much time I would have. So I did stamp this. You're Amazing. And I stamped it in sapphire. Do your stamp sets look like this, where you've just got like all of these pieces? I always stamp a whole bunch and then cut out, and then I just have them ready whenever I need to make a card. The green on the, oh yeah, I agree with the Celebrating You. Because I think that was maybe fern. That would have worked. Okay, So let's put this down. I kind of like this fancy scallop. So I'm just going to tape this down. One thing that I will warn you is you don't really want to use foam tape on this. I wouldn't use foam tape at all. So I centered this, and when you put your sentiment down, depending on how big it is, you want to make sure you're centering it in this space, okay? This, you still have a lot of space left to decorate, but you want this to be centered because it's going to come in the envelope like this. So this will be how they see it for the first time, okay? So you want to center your sentiment up at the top, okay? Okay, so now let's work on some of these stamp sets. Okay, so this one, let's do the, I'm going to do these ones, the flamingo, because I think it'll be easy to see. The flamingo is this one, and I have two here. I've got some extra white daisy here. So I'm going to stamp with flamingo. Okay. Get it inked up. With these colors like pink and that, it's a little bit hard to see if it's inked up, but okay. And the good thing about these is they're all cut out. And so if you don't like how you stamped it, you're not ruining the whole card. You know, sometimes if you're stamping directly on the card and you screw up, you like have to either throw it away or put something over it. You don't have to worry about this one because you're cutting all these pieces out. Okay, so I'm taking two of the flamingo with this rose. And I really love this. Like, I think this is probably a rose. Would you call that a rose? Okay, so let's clean off the stamp. And then these two are flamingo, are ballerina. Ballerina. And that stamp from this set is this one here. Okay, so I'm going to make ballerina. I don't know if I'll get two on here, but we'll see. Okay. And I am going to fussy cut these out. If you have the thin cuts, you'll be able to easily use the thin cuts to cut these out. Ballerina is a very light pink, so I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is on there. Okay. And what I would recommend for these is to choose like a variety of colors. You know, you see how I used the pinks, I used the mulberry, I used the Sundance, this is Bluebird, and I think Carolina. You know, you want to kind of make a nice little bouquet. Okay. I've got this here. Let's do this one. This one, I only did one, and this one is mulberry. I'm going to use this stamp block because I think this it's too big for that other one. Okay, we're using this one right here. It's in the corner. And mulberry. I'm loving the mulberry. This is mulberry. I'll stamp that there. Okay, what do we still have to do? Okay, I did 2 of these ones in Bluebird. So, again, I tried to use a variety to make it look like it was a bouquet or something. Okay, I'm going to use this one here. You could also use this one, but this one here is what I'm using. Okay, and I said, let's see, Bluebird. Bluebird. I think that's Bluebird. And we're going to do it twice. I love Bluebird. Sapphire is my favorite color. I know we've got some other sapphire lovers here, but Bluebird comes in a nice second there. Bluebell was actually my favorite. That was a color of the year a couple years ago. That was my favorite. But that was only for 1 year. Okay, now this one is this flower. But you can also use this one if you want. I'm going to use my 1-inch block, courtesy of Vicki. Vicki gave me this block. I'm going to use Carolina. Carolina is a retired blue. But I still like it. Okay. So I'm trying to put these close enough that I don't waste my white daisy, but kind of far enough away that when I cut it out, you know, there's enough space. Okay. Okay, let's see. What do we have left? Okay, next I'm going to do these. I don't know what those are. To me, it looks like ragweed or something, so I made them Sundance. This is like the bane of my existence, ragweed, but I doubt they put ragweed as one of these flowers. So if you know actually what that flower is, let me know. But so I'm using Sundance for this one. Okay, and I think I have 2 of them. These stamp very nicely too. I really like the looks of these. Okay, now I think we're down to the, oh no, you know what else we have? There's this kind of feathery ferny thing here. And I stamped that in sapphire. That's right down in here. And my sentiment is also in sapphire. And that's why I use the sapphire base. Mainly because it's my favorite color, but it goes with the sentiment and then this. And you can kind of see I try to make the blue, the sapphire be close to that other sapphire. Okay, let's do it this way. I love this one. This would be nice on like a I don't know, like a Christmas card if you did it in like pine or something, and then put some holly berries or something like that. I don't know. I know it's not holly, but I mean, I can see some berries or something. It's very, I don't know, I feel like it has a Christmas vibe. Oh, maybe some pine cones or something. I don't know, do we have any stamps that are pine cones? I'm trying to think if I have any in my collection. Okay, now I did 2 of these solid leaves, and those are in avocado. Okay, avocado. Oh, make it into a wreath. Yeah, I guess that's probably what it reminds me of. So why it makes me think of that. Yeah, it would make a good wreath. If you have Gina K's Wreath Builder, that would be nice. Or if you've made your own on the Cricut, that would be nice. Okay, and I had 2 of these. Okay. And this was avocado. Okay, and then I'm going to do this open leaf. That's this one here next. I tried to use, a lot of these. I didn't use many of the open ones, just the line drawings. Like I didn't use this one or this one in here. I did on the scrapbook layout, but not on the card. But that would be nice too. Okay, this is where I use sage for this this stamp. Oh, I don't have that on straight. Okay. And these are lined ones, so they're pretty nice to stamp up. They don't. It doesn't take much ink. Okay, can you see it's just the line? Just the line of it. Okay, that's in sage. And then, I don't know if you can tell, but this one here is a different leaf, and that's also in sage. So, let's see, this is here. This leaf, it's this leaf right here. So I threw that one in too. And this one is a solid one. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think we've got everything stamped. Oh, here I said we were going to be done early, and look at me. But the good thing is you don't have to watch me cut these out because I've already got these cut. So I would just fussy cut these out. This one, you'll see, I did take the time and I went through, inside. I even went in deep into the leaves. So let's just put these together. So you want to decorate with some kind of stamps here on the base. I'm calling this the base. I don't know what else to call it, but let's put the leaf and one of the ballerina things here. Get my little adhesive sheet here. Okay. And I'm going back to my little tape runner for this. And then the pink, the ballerina. Before I put that one down, this one looks like it's underneath, so, oops. Let's do one of the flamingo. I am going to put this nearby so I can make sure that it's centered nicely. Okay. This leaf goes underneath that. So I'm going to use the open leaf one. And I am going to tuck it in underneath a little bit. So I will tell you that you want to avoid having it go off the edge very much, only because this is 2 layers of paper, and so this sinks a little bit. I mean, it's okay, but just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, now let's do these 2. I've got the mulberry one. Go here, and then my ragweed. This is good ragweed though, because you won't sneeze. You won't sneeze with it. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. Now let's put the pink one, the ballerina one, down. And then end it with these 2 blue. Oh, I might not have cut enough of these, so I'll have to maybe cut these ones out for you. Okay, so that's going to go here, and then this one's going to go here. Okay, all I did was just, you know, do a variety of flowers. So how you put it doesn't matter, especially if you're not using this particular flower set, but so that's how I did that. Now this one here is one where you can write like your name if you want to, because when you stand it up, you don't see that, you know, when you're looking at it. I mean, you can see it in the camera because it's looking down at it, but when you have it standing up, you don't see that. So this is a place where you could write, or if you want to, you could decorate this space too. But when you do that, you want to make sure that you keep in mind where it's folding at. Okay, you could have stuff kind of sticking up if you want. And then you can sign on the back if you want to write on the back of the card. That's another option, is to write, you know, if you want to write a note and sign it, you can do that on the back of the card. Okay, and now let's do this one. This one, I wanted it to stick up a little bit so it looked like it was, you know, these were part of the bouquet from the ones in the back. So I am only going to add adhesive down in the last few stems there, and then this part's going to stick up, so you don't want adhesive on that. And then I'm going to try and place it so that it's kind of between these 2 flowers, so it's not covering them up. Okay. Let's put the ragweed down. Oh, I don't have another ragweed. But you know what? I've got this one. I've got this one, so I'm going to put this here. Maybe I'll make this one stick up too. So I'm only going to do the bottom part, leave the top part a little bit out. There you go. Okay, and I've got several of these. So we'll do one of these right here. And you definitely don't want to go, well, you can go a little bit out of the white side, but you don't want to go past in my case, the sage, because that's the size of the envelope. Okay, so you don't want them hanging off the side. You could have these hanging off like up here, but not off the side. And when I put that down, I didn't look above it. Let me see if I can just, there we go. I like it to kind of be between those ones. Okay. So now let's do this leaf, the avocado leaf. Okay. And then I do need to cut one of the ballerina. So as I'm cutting this, let me know if you have any questions. Do you have any questions about this card? Okay, when I'm cutting this out, you see I'm kind of leaving the scissors in place and then moving the card around it. You kind of get your smoothest edges that way. and then trying to follow along with the shape of the flower. Okay, so let's put this one down, and then you want to try and cover up the base of the these other the leaves, the vines, or whatever, all of those. Okay, now let me cut out a flamingo one. I think I made it so that I only had to cut a couple out live, because I knew it wouldn't be very fun. Hi, Brian. Yeah, you can also sign inside the 10-fold if you want to. There's a lot of places to sign. Okay, so let's put this one here. Okay. And then I've got these two blue ones. And this one, I did try and go along with the bumps in the flowers, but I didn't go like way down inside. So I didn't make it a perfect circle, but I didn't cut in between the leaves, the petals, like I did for the for this one. And I just like the different, the different colors. I like, I definitely wanted to have some more blue on the front just to give it a little bit more colors. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we have it. We're finished with it, right? So like I said, you could sign here if you want. You can sign on the back. You can write and sign on the inside, right? But again, what's amazing about these is that they stand up, and the recipient could take it, put it up on their mantle, and display it, right? It's very easy to display. And let me see if I can bring, I don't know if I can bring the camera down so you can see it standing up. Oh, there you go. Can you see how pretty it is standing up? Especially if you look at it from from this angle. You can see it looks like a nice continuous piece. Look how pretty those are. I really like it like that. Okay. So I really love this stamp set, Floral Blooms. Like I said, I've been wanting to make this layout for a long time. So, I know, we didn't make this live. Although I do have, I just made a TikTok. If you want to see me create this, go to my TikTok at Crafty Chemist Designs, or my Instagram. I did a reel, so like a 1.5 minute summary of this with this layout, but it's using that same stamp set in a little bit different color palette. I did use mulberry, nectarine, avocado. That's canary. You could use Sundance, and papaya. This is papaya. These are papaya. So this stamp set is really versatile, right? You can do any of these. Okay. And I use Flower Shop, the papers. I use the papers for the Mother's Day cards with my nephews. This is the same paper pack that we used. Okay. Remember that I've started I'm going to do the drawing for the sketch challenge once a month. So if you completed the challenge this week. This is my layout, my sample layout that I did. I used up some of my Dream Maker. I've got a lot of Dream Maker. I cut out all of these squares. I cut out all of these squares for my National Scrapbooking Month event because I had a lot of people register, but they never sent me their address, so I couldn't send them out. Anyway, I've got a lot of these, so I'm trying to find ways to use them up. So if you see a lot of cards or scrapbook layouts that can use squares, they might be coming up because I'm trying to use them up. But this was my sample of that. If you completed that, completed a work, I will add your name to it. And I guess you can even go back later, and like if you didn't do week 1 and next week you want to do it, you can definitely go back and do that. So any of the sketch layouts from this month, if you complete them, I'll put your name on the wheel. And if you do, for each weeks that you do, I'll put your name on the wheel, like 4 times or however many weeks we have, however many Sundays. I think there's 4. Your name can go on the wheel 4 times. Okay. Next week, this is what we're going to be making. We're going to be making this scrapbook layout. And I am going to, for this one, for this layout, Diana, these are 1 by 2. Because my squares were 2 by 2. Right, my squares were 2 by 2, so I just cut these in half. Oops. Let's see, I cut these in half. So 1 by 2. I'm going to make a companion page to this. I just didn't have time because I made this Friday night. Oh no, not Friday night. Thursday night before I left for Minnesota. But I will make the companion page. Yeah, these are 1 by 2. Now, we're going to make this layout next week, and what I'm going to show you, the technique I'm going to show you is how to color in your flowers. Because this is a line stamp. This is not a solid stamp. How to color in your flowers without having to color them in with markers. Okay, I've got 3 different techniques that I'm going to show you. Okay. So that's kind of a feature technique, and we're going to be using the Dream Maker paper. This is my favorite paper, this rainbow stripe paper. It'll also give you some ideas on how you can replicate this, even if you don't have Dream Maker. You can make something very similar. Okay, so this is next week. What size did you use? Were they 1 by 2.5 or 2 1/4? I'm not biased or anything, but this is the cutest layout you've ever seen. And not because of the cute little baby on here. Oh, and also, this was the first picture I printed on my new printer. Remember I told you last week, I think, that I bought the new photo printer? This is my first picture I printed from that, and it was pretty good. And the reason I did is because once I hooked up my HP photo printer, my selfie printer disappeared from my printer list. So I've got to figure out how to get my selfie printer back connected to my phone. So I had to print on my new printer, but it was a good test. Yeah, so that was probably it. I mean, yours look great. I didn't see anything wrong with yours. You didn't have any spaces between the squares, but it looked cute. So yeah, mine was 1 inch by 2 inches. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm glad I made it home in time. Literally, I walked in the door 5 minutes till 3:55. Because we stopped at Wisconsin Dells to eat at this place called Mac and Cheese or something. Mac and Cheese. They have macaroni in like gratin dishes, like mac and cheese and gratin dishes, and they put toppings on it. I got barbecue chicken topping. Jean got a loaded baked potato topping, and Jess got carnitas. So it was really good. If you ever go to Wisconsin Dells, I recommend it. I'm not a big mac and cheese fan either, so but the barbecue chicken made it really good. So okay, thanks for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next week for that Dream Maker layout. So talk to you later. Do the sketch challenge the week coming up. It's going to be a card. Okay, see you next week. Bye.